it's me, Renee, and this is another non-fiction November update. I was about to say wrap up. No, it's an update. Well, what's the difference between an update and a wrap up? Isn't updates more or less weekly wrap ups? Hmm, philosophical, a little philosophy there for you in the morning. Well, it's morning for me, but yep. Okay, yeah. So last time, also yeah, just kind of so I decided I'm going to do a weekly update. So every Wednesday I'm going to update you on how what I've been reading, and yeah, I'll be updating you on nonfiction. I have been reading other stuff as well, but that's what I'm going to update you on. So yeah. So first we have this one, Pink Potako, which I finished last Saturday. Honestly, like I like the idea behind this one because it's all about finding joy in life because life can often be stressful and stuff. But I feel like this wasn't really a book for me because usually I get lots of joy in life. Like on a Monday, I might take on the radio, and if a good song comes on, my day gets so much better. Or if they say something interesting, or if it's a Tuesday, it's announced that this and this is cast in this and this Marvel project. I mean, I get happy by lots of things. So I don't know. The things you talk about in this one, I kind of felt like, yeah, obvious. That's what I'm already doing. I didn't really feel like this was so much new. But I mean, it's a book that's kind of. I think it was a bestseller. It came out earlier this year, last year, earlier this year, last year. I think it was a bestseller for like 1 or 2 weeks. So I mean, it resonated with people. So I suppose other people are idiots. But like, yeah, I don't know. For me, it didn't really give anything new to the table. So yeah. But it wasn't awful. It was an interesting enough read. I've read better, but it wasn't a waste of my time. So yeah. And then I'm not quite sure if I talked about this one last time. I don't think I did, but I believe I finished this last week. I suppose I could just check Storograph, but I'm too lazy. But I believe I haven't talked about this one, and if I have, oh well. But yeah, I finished Odd Girl Out by Laura James. So it's not a long book, but I've been reading it on and off for the last 5 months. So yeah, procrastinating me. But yeah, so this is a biography of a woman, Laura. It's an autobiography, and it's about her and her journey to accepting and to discovering that she has autism. She was diagnosed in her 40s, but she always knew that was something different with her. And so she goes, and she's also a journalist, so she goes through. I mean, it goes back and forth of telling about her, let's say, love life. Well, that as well tells about her childhood when she grew up and when she was older, and yeah, so it goes between the past and the present. And yeah, it was quite interesting. Uh, Often when I read autism books, I feel quite seen, since there's very few books with non-verbal learning disorder people in them, like factual, well, non-fiction or fiction. So I'm gonna take the representation that I get. And yeah, I enjoyed reading this book. It was an interesting look into her life. And yeah, it's not a big book. It's like every part is like every scene or yeah, every part is kind of like just 1 or 2 pages. So you can easily read like a bit now, a bit then, and yeah, I do recommend it if you want to read non-fiction with autism, or if you want to read uh, more non-fiction in general, because it's not long at all and easily read and interesting. And yeah, so that's that really. And then yesterday I started with Dishonesty is the Best Policy and Other Rules to Live by Deirdre Mitchell, one of my favorites British comedians. Well, one of my favorite comedians, full stop. And yeah, so this is a collection of essays. he's written before between 2014 and 2019. So it's pretty recent. Like the last ones are pretty recent. But yeah, I think it came out this year, in the last year. I think it came out like pretty recently. It came out. No, sorry, it came out in 2019. Yeah. So so far just I read the forward, and I've read the first kind of making my way through the first essay. And the first essays here and there kind of seems a bit like British centered. Though I mean that's my fault. He's a British author, British person, so it's not my fault I'm Norwegian. Like I mean, if someone were to look up a Norwegian author or a Norwegian stand-up comedian who end up doing something in English, they probably wouldn't know all references because culture. But yeah, but like I've seen. Well, of course, I know like they were that's Williams Mitchell from before from Wilty and other stuff, and his rants. He used to have like these rants videos, and they were kind of universal and interesting. So I think like mostly his thoughts and ideas are universal, but like him having references here and there for British people, that's kind of natural. And I suppose it's my fault for being too lazy to Google. I might also might Google like people like who's this guy and yeah, so that might help. But like if not, it's not like I don't like get the ideas if like from other stuff. Like he says like John Smith, just random name, like John Smith, the big scandalous politician. So like I get what like the idea behind using that person as an example is. So yeah, it's not long. But yeah, I kind of yeah I wanted to read one of these. I have a few more comedian books on my TBR. But yeah, I'm quite not sure how many books I'll get through this month. But yeah, now at least I'll start in reading one of them. And then I have done something quite remarkable, I would say. I can you guess? I've started a book I've talked about reading for ages that I've had on my TBR since like 20, I think maybe 2015. So yeah, a long time. It is. And so Big Devon or The Black Count by Tom Rice. So this is the actual, because non-fiction, account of so I'm blanking out. Alexandre Dumas' dad. So Alexander Dumas, he actually based a lot of his stories on his dad's and his granddad's stories. And his dad was half black, half white, biracial. And but yeah, he grew up. Well, he grew up in what became to be Haiti, and then when he was 12, he moved to France with his dad. And his dad was a count, so like he was brought up in this rich nobility life, and he rose to be a very good general in the military. And yeah, so this is a book about him. It's a book about the revolution in France, and yeah, stuff like that. So far, I'm 103 pages in, and it is just like 200, sorry, 200, 300 pages. And let me just kind of double check. No, give me one moment. Yeah, so it is to like 380 pages, so I suppose it's around 40 pages. So actually, often non-fiction books have like long, like source pages. This one hasn't, but yeah. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it, and I said 103 pages in, so yeah, I'm moving forward with it. Quite happy to have started this one for once. Been having it on some on TBRs, so actually starting it and really enjoying it. It's yeah, good. It's quite nice. So yeah, gonna keep on moving with that one. And yeah, also I think I said this before. I can say it again. So usually when I commute or like when I go anywhere, like on a train, I usually use audiobooks to like pass the time. And lately, my audiobook app has been acting up. I'm thinking it's probably because of my cell phone is a bit old, though it's not old, it's 3 years old, but in today's world, 3 years old is old for audio for from cell phones. So yeah, so like I can use the cell phone, no, sorry, cell phone. I can use the audiobook app fine with Wi-Fi, but like when I'm outside of Wi-Fi, when I'm yeah, and not someplace with Wi-Fi, like on the move, it kind of stops pretty like pretty basic, pretty often. So yeah, so I actually I've stopped using audiobooks. I've instead kind of put one book in my purse, and what I'm using at the moment, what I'm reading at the moment on my commute is Lingo. So I also started this back in History Challenge month. But yeah, this is a book about languages in Europe. It says språkreise om Europa. So yeah, it talks about all the different languages in Europe, but it's kind of talks about them in like this language is interesting because blah 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 blah, and this is language interesting blah 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 blah. You know what? I think I missed my no bookmark. I have like where's my bookmark? But yeah, it's here. So I've actually read quite a lot of it lately. So kind of ish halfway through, I would say. Yeah, a bit more than halfway through. It is at 280 pages. I'm sorry, 300 pages, more or less. And at the moment, I'm at 800, 800 or 200 pages. At the moment, I'm at 180 pages. So yeah, more or less halfway through. And yeah, very much enjoying it. And yeah, so that's that really. I if you pay attention more, I don't know if you people do that much, but like I have Storygraph and I've set up Storygraph. I started the 5 because I wanted to start it last week. So I'm like I usually often like click on currently reading when I'm thinking I'm gonna start it in 10 minutes. And then I often kind of forget about it. So yeah, according to Storygraph, I've started the 5, a story about the woman who Jack the Ripper killed. Haven't actually started it yet, but yeah. So yeah, when I finish these books, well, so when I finish the books there of these ones I haven't finished at the moment, which ones I'll pick up non-fiction wise, I'm not sure. Again, I have lots to choose from, so yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I have big TBR, so well, big pile of possible TBR. So yeah, just as much in dock as you are to what I'm picking up next. Though probably the 5 because people are always talking about. And yeah. Oh, and I might also start maybe an audio non-fiction. I might do that, but yeah. And yeah, I hope you are having a good reading month. Hope you're reading lots of nice non-fiction, if you do that, or lots of fun fiction books. And I'll see you on Friday for the next video. And that's kind of a fun one. Well, for me, it's kind of always also a bit obvious. It's a video I've done before, but yeah, might be fun. And I'll just leave it at that. And bye.